There's always another level. There's another level in your marriage. There's new places to go in depth of knowing your wife and caring for your wife and blessing your wife. There's new ways to level up your family vision so that your kids actually have something expansive to think about. And they don't start back at 0 like we all did. We're trying to move the ball downfield in every imaginable way. Welcome to the Family Captain Podcast. I'm your host, I'm your coach, John Michael Clark. On this show, we help Christian husbands grow in family leadership and sex and marriage. So if you believe that Jesus is king, and you want to lead your family with strength and love, and you want frequency and freedom in your sex life, then you're in the right place. We're going to help you build an incredible family culture where God is glorified and your family is blessed by your strong, loving leadership.
Gentlemen, welcome to the Family Captain Podcast. I am your co-host, Chris Farrell. This show is designed to help you become the greatest man your wife and your kids have ever known. As always, I am here with Mr. John Michael Clark. My man, you built the Family Captain. You've worked with, over 6,000 dudes to help them become ecstatically married, to find freedom and frequency in their sex lives, and just to lock arms with a brotherhood that's changing generations, man. And so, JM, where are we taking the brothers today?
Man, we're taking the guys to whatever level they're at to the next one. We're identifying different categories and different levels where a brother might be playing the game, and we're just helping him say, hey, man, here's how you can graduate. Here's how you can beat that level. Here's how you can beat that boss and move on into whatever phase comes next. I do have to go back and correct something you said, though. You said, I built the family captain. I think we're more and more deeper into a season where we've got to more plainly say, I started the family captain,
Started the Family Captain.
and now a team is building it.
Yeah.
Another 5 years from now, it would be ridiculous to say, "You built the family cabin." Like, I started it, and now we have an awesome team,
Yeah.
yourself included, who, we're all building it together. But yes, I had the privilege of being the one who started things off, and now, like, we're all growing this thing together and blessing men, and the brotherhood keeps growing, and that's where the team comes from. Everybody on the team, as you know,
Yes.
was a client, and they came on board, and, then friendships were built, and then they become a member of the team, so it's such a cool thing.
Amen.
I mean, that's just, like, on a personal level, like, it's just a very cool thing. It's just a great blessing. Like, I'm a part of a thing that I would wanna be a part of. Like, I'm thankful to work here.
Yeah. Me too, man. It is a great honor. And so, first, let me start here. There's this word that's thrown around in church circles, and even we've said it a few times, but not really taking a deep dive on it. And that is
Servant leadership.
dominion.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Dominion.
Dominion, right? And so, JM, here's where we want to start, man. Look, what is the Dominion mandate for real? What is it not? Hit me with your definition of the Dominion mandate around the Bible.
Well, faithful Christians have gone to Genesis 1, as they should on this for a long time when they're talking about the dominion mandate. We got it pulled up right here. Genesis 1:28, and God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. So the dominion mandate, the dominion command, the dominion commission is this: be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion. So the Lord commands dominion over the animals. He commands dominion over all of nature. And it pleased the Lord to give it to man. The heavens, even the highest heavens, the scripture says, are the Lord's, and the earth he has given to the children of men. So this dominion mandate, though, it's emphasizing and prioritizing something not so different from Jesus talking about the parable of the talents. Just a faithfulness, as we often reference. Faithful with what you have been given. The Lord would come and visit Adam in the cool of the day. Hey, what'd you do today, son? Oh, look, here's what I did over here. Here's what I've done over here. The Lord was pleased to see what Adam would call the animals. Adam names Eve. Adam is clearly in charge. Adam is in dominion. Adam is in power. Adam is in authority. And it pleased the Father to give him his yes. The Lord didn't name all the animals. Adam got to. And it pleased the Lord that it would be that way. So the principles we take from this are, brother, you've got a kingdom to rule. Brother, you have a garden to tend. We see dominion is a command, and it is something that involves strenuous effort. This word subdue means to force, to keep under, to bring into bondage, to make subservient, to subdue, to violate, to dominate, to tread down. So specifically, over nature, like that sounds like a lot of the work and toil that we have to do in the field or in business or anything else. So in the same way, we want guys to take a look at their field, take a look at what's around them, and start to cultivate it and dominate it in such a way that they're blessed, that their wife is blessed, that their children are blessed, and, like, thank God we have a man who is taking things and forcing them into his will, instead of a passive man who's like, "Hey, guys, we got thorns." We know we got thorns, dad." "Honey, we know we have thorns," but thankfully, we have a man who can subdue thorns and who can push things back and who can fight things back. So we wanna encourage our brothers with wherever they are, "Brother, there's a next level for you to subdue at. There's a higher degree for you to carry this thing."
I wanna go through some of these levels, man, because it's like you said, the Lord gives us this responsibility. He's like, "Hey, Adam, here's the garden, name the animals, do the thing." Then Eve comes into the picture and it's like, "Okay, awesome. Now she's submitting under this mission that he has, submission, right?" But I think oftentimes guys will hear this and be like, "Yeah, sure. I'm supposed to take responsibility. I have dominion over my kingdom. Okay." But at the family captain, with as many guys as you've coached and some of the other guys have coached, there are different levels. There are different seasons, as you mentioned. And so, um, the first one I want to cover here is the man who is just totally unaware, right? He's not really ever had a model. He's just kinda like, "Cool, as long as I pay the bills and stay faithful and keep the peace, everything should be good," right? But then he'll find himself implementing systems and figuring out spiritual rhythms and different things that change the game for him entirely. And so, what's the wake-up moment for a man like this, JM?
Yeah, they're all fun to work with, and I've been all of them, and all of us have probably been one of these guys at one point or another. We've at least been one of them or 2 of them. But these guys are fun to work with because, they go from it's just a full 180. It's I was clueless and I just didn't know, man, and that was me. Like, I remember the season where I'm like, "I love my wife. I love my kids. I love God. For real, for real." And what though? And I've still felt this dissatisfaction. I still felt this, man, there's something else, and it wasn't some idolatry. It was truly like, there's more. It was this prompting from the Holy Spirit that there was more, but I didn't know what it was. And of course, that's the common story that I've told for me. Like, thankfully, God led me from there, and it was one thing built on another thing, all from His Word, filtered through His Word. So these guys, it's fun because when their eyes are open, man, they're so hungry. They're on fire. Like a new believer, like, when the person comes to Christ and they're challenging you, and they're like, "We need to do this, and we need to do that," and you're like, "You're absolutely right. Like, let me grow. Let me be encouraged by your fire and by your fervor." So we see that same kinda thing in these guys. We see the lights start to come on for them. What is it, the thing that makes the difference for them? For a lot of them, we've seen, I mean, some guys, it's been like, "I found your podcast, and oh my goodness, I'm 6 episodes in, and what the Lord has revealed to me is crazy." Same that was the way it happened for me. It wasn't through the Family Captain podcast yet, because it didn't exist, but through a million books, through a million other podcasts, all of a sudden I started to come online in a new way. I was fired up, man. I was super excited. I went from the ignorant guy to, wow, like, this is awesome. God's design is dope. This is the highest. This is the best. I'm pumped. There's a new game to play. There's a new way to win. Have I been part of the problem? Well, yeah, because I've been passive and I haven't been taking massive action. I haven't been really subduing anything. And in my immaturity as a leader, if anything, I try and subdue my wife and like just rule her instead of, hey, brother, you rule everything and everybody. And she gets to be the beneficiary of your rulership, not just like, I want people to rule. Like, well, you do have people to rule, and they should be super thrilled about that, by the way. They should be super thankful that you're the ruler over them. So we're not afraid of those words. We just define our terms, and we always mean that rulership's a good thing. None of us are complaining about the rulership of Jesus. Well, that's because he's a great king. Well, yeah, we want to be like him. I want to grow up into the head that is Christ. I want to look like Jesus, and that means I want to walk in an authority that takes responsibility. So those guys, when they go from clueless to informed, they get excited, and then it's a couple of things that they start to implement right away, typically, that makes they have quick growth early on. like, super fast growth in their stocks because they're like, "Wow," like, tools that, we give them, like the captain's log. They're going, "This is crazy. This is like a complete game changer for me. I've never thought about things this way. I've never had a tool that can help me grow in this way," or their captain's creed or family meetings. And all of a sudden, they've got like you just list those 3 tools, that we've got 6 sales, those are 3 of them. But we give them those 3 tools right away, and they're like, "My whole life is different, everything's different. My wife's saying this, my kids are saying this, I'm fired up, I'm excited." We're like, "Praise God, brother. Congratulations, keep up the hard work." And that's an exciting time. That's super
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, and what's so funny about those tools is, like, they all point back to this very specific intention. It's like, "Bro, we're being super intentional, but we're building a system around it so we can continue to do it over and over and over again," and there's
It's gotta be
incredible
repeatable.
results on the
Gotta
back
be
end.
sustainable.
Yeah, exactly. So this unaware man though, JM, like, okay, what what lie let's take the man who was unaware and then is starting to really come out of it. What lie was he believing that kept him in that place where he didn't know?
Yeah. So ignorance is one thing, deception is another, but usually they go hand in hand. If I'm ignorant, I'm probably deceived in something as well. So I'm ignorant about what's
Well
possible,
said.
but I'm also believing just automatically. I'm like, this is how life works. One of the things that you're believing when you're stuck in that zone is if we were going to grow, if we were going to change anything, it would take both of us giving the same amount of effort. That's probably the most common thing that we love to see guys get set free from is like, "Hey, brother, good news. You don't need her vote. You don't need her permission. You don't even need her encouragement." Would all those things be a blessing? Yeah. Her support and encouragement, her being your cheerleader? Heck yeah. I'll prefer that
Mm.
over her being a detractor. And yet, none of those things are needed. You really can level up in massive ways that she goes, "This is nice. Well, that's different. There's a new guy around here." So that's probably the biggest lie that this brother is stuck on is he's thinking, if anything's gonna change, like, we both have to change it. And then he might even take a couple of thoughts down that path, but he just runs into like, there's no water flowing in that river, and he finds rocks. He's like, "It takes 2 of us." There's the first rock blocking the water. He's like, "Maybe we could talk to Pastor Melvin." Pastor Melvin doesn't have a marriage that I'm imagining or hoping for either, and the way he teaches his stuff, that's not gonna go well. Like, it's just gonna be a shame session for me. There's another rock he's found in the river, and he's like he just feels hopeless now. Remember we did that marriage conference 2 years ago when the marriage people came through to the church, and that was super good for, like, 4 days.
Right.
That love and respect guy was really good. He kinda said some stuff I couldn't believe he said out loud. And all the wives argued with all the husbands for the next 4 days and said why the love and respect guy was wrong, and then we all kinda went back into our shell, like, but man, it seemed like there was something to that.
Mm.
But, yeah, I don't know. What are you gonna do, man? And that's where he kinda gives up. I think that's the lie that he's stuck in is, like, that he can't do anything about it. And, the good news for him is, "Hey, bro, you can do everything about it. You can level up, and you're going to force" this principle we teach in the Family Captain is forcing the fork in the road. And whenever you level up and change in your life, the people around you have a choice to make because they're facing a fork in the road. Not because you're controlling them and not because you gave anyone an ultimatum. It is a natural byproduct of you doing things differently. So if you're hanging around guys who drink all the time and drink all the time and drink all the time and you stopped drinking, you find out that something shifts. Something has to happen. They've come to a fork and they're like, unfortunately, in most cases, you just stop being invited. Why is
Mhm.
that unfortunate? Well, because the ideal was that they follow you and stop drinking.
Right.
But in marriage, when we've got healthy baselines, or at least like decent baselines of she loves God and she loves her husband, and yeah, there's a lot of confusion and yeah, there's a lot of androgyny. The good news is when he starts to level up wisely and deliberately and not in a way that's controlling, it forces the fork with her. And she's like, she'll push back, she'll test, she'll poke and go, no, 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 no. I don't like this. I don't know about that. Let's take the gym, for example. We're not a gym family. We're not a gym couple. We're not a take care of our body family. And all of a sudden, he's stopped eating these sweets. And all of a sudden, he's working out. And all of a sudden, his body's changing. She's going to feel, he's forcing the fork with her.
Yeah.
And she's starting to feel, what's going on? I love you. I'm growing. I'm taking better care of myself. I want to feel better. I want to look better. I want to be better. And what's that going to do? She might try and push back on his efforts, but we've seen over and over and over and over and over again. All of a sudden, she stops buying the Oreos. And all of a sudden, she's like, well, maybe I'll start working out. And he's like, yeah, babe, do it. And his gravity is what draws her in. So that's the good news for that guy. We've seen that over and over in marriage, and, like, that's our not so secret sauce around here at the Family Captain.
Yeah.
This is not a change your wife coaching program. This is a become the man that your wife would want to change for. Just like we
Yeah.
tell people all the time, like, "Make the list of your ideal person." Wow, that's a pretty steep list you made.
Yeah.
You better go be the person that that person is gonna marry, because that's a
Mm.
high level person you just listed. I like it. But are they looking for you right now? Well, no. Okay. Well, you can change that. We're just doing it in the middle of a marriage instead of ahead
Right.
of time.
Right. Yeah, and, real fast, when you were talking about this unaware man, you started to go into this whole, like, "Well, yeah, I mean, we're a team," and I wanna get your take on this because I always hear, like, marriage is teamwork. You're saying, "Look, it's not 50-50, but does that mean it's not teamwork?"
Great question. Yeah, like another thing here about marriage is like we're best friends.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with those things because scripture says, Song of Solomon references, I think it's the wife or the fiance talking. She's saying, "This is my beloved, this is my friend." So I think marriage has an element of friendship, and I think it's okay to say marriage has an element of teamwork. Sure, I don't oppose either of those things. I start to get pushed back, and I start to get uncomfortable when people boil it down and make it sound like that's all that it is. And I'm going, whoa, 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 my marriage to Natalie is way more than just friendship.
Yeah.
That's part of the recipe. That was
Right.
mixed into the pot,
Right.
but this isn't just a friendship. Well, no, brother, we know that. Okay, well then say that. I like to be precise. I like to be explicit, and I do my best to not be misunderstood. Now I could be wrong, and if somebody could point out wrong, I'm like, hey, I'm open to that. But we got to be clear and plain. So
Yes.
my point is, marriage is higher than friendship. Marriage is better than friendship. Marriage is deeper than friendship, and yet marriage would include like, are we friends? Yeah. But I'm also fighting against the cultural norms of a marriage that has grown cold. So that's why
Yes.
I'm also a bit of a stickler for terms that, maybe 200 years from now, my great 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 grandsons can use those terms because the defaults are so healthy again.
Sure.
But for now, I'm fighting against phrases that I think are harmful to the marriage and not helping to
Mhm.
build attraction and build boyfriend girlfriend dynamic. Are
Yes.
boyfriend and girlfriend friends? Well, it's in the name, friend. So I guess there's something there. But we're also more aware of the romantic element. And so many Christian marriages are missing that romantic element, that fun flirtation, that vibrant, healthy, joyful sex life, that passionate, good gift that God has given to their marriage. So I don't want to just make things marriage is about teamwork. Like, go on. I'm listening. I'll give you a moment. But if they just begin with teamwork and end with friendship, I'm like, no, no, you forgot something. You forgot that these two people have the hot and
Mm.
sweaties together. You left it out. Why did you leave out the hot and sweaties?
Sweaties,
Are
baby.
you ashamed of it? Are you embarrassed by it? Well, don't be graphic. Well, sure, I can see that I probably go too far sometimes, but it's only because you don't go anywhere. Like you live in that ditch. So every now and then
Mm.
I do agree. There's stuff I've repented of as well, where I've been
Yeah.
crass and I've gone too far. Hot and sweaties, maybe it was too far again. I don't know.
Hey,
Uh,
it
i-
just rolled off your tongue, dude.
in 10 years, I'll watch it and be like, yeah, that's
Like,
too much.
yeah,
But
no,
in
no, no.
10 years, I'll be 51 years old.
Hey,
And
let's
maybe my T
go.
levels are going to be dropping and I'm just going to be a punk. And maybe I'm going to become the Melvin that I always hated. Just shoot me if that ever
We will
happens,
make
Chris.
sure that that does
I'll be
not
like,
happen.
"Guys, I recant. I renounce everything I ever taught. Natalie's my best friend, teammate ever. She's my
Oh,
everything."
that's awesome.
I don't know where we were.
Hey, no, that was entertaining. I like it.
We
I like
lost
it.
the trail at Hot and Sweaties.
Well, it sounds like you're transitioning us well into the pretty good guy, right? It's like, "Hey, man, I had the date nights. My kids are pretty good. Like, there are
Okay.
really no major issues here." Okay. But what's really going on is his wife is emotionally disconnected, uh, certainly sexually disconnected,
Okay.
and, the home's just kind of like on autopilot, if you will. And so,
Yeah.
if a
Higher
guy's not
baseline than our previous bro. Not as
right.
ignorant as Jamichael was. Jamichael
Yes.
0.0.
Yes.
Maybe now we're getting into bro 1.0. It's like, yeah, man, like, we're doing the things. He's got a little bit better family rhythms.
Yes.
So maybe not in 47 sports for the kids. Maybe
Yeah,
he has a little bit
probably a
more
little bit.
control over the schedule and like, hey, like, let's not be insane American people.
Right.
Um, they actually go on a date night. They, They actually have fun together sometimes, but the disconnect is still, like, there's not heat. There's not real passion. There's not you and me versus the world. This is the thing. This is the nucleus. There's still some life partner vibes going on. Date
Yes.
night is the rule that they follow because it's a good practice they were taught about, but not because, like, we're fired up about our marriage and about
Yes.
something we're building together.
And they probably
So
schedule sex.
yeah, yeah, they're like, "Hey, you know what? We found that scheduling sex works well for us, and it just
Mhm.
keeps it regular and lets us know when things are happening," and they feel good about that. They feel like that's like a win.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, what
So
about him?
so this pretty good guy, right? Look, what's the shift that this guy has got to make to go from like, yeah, pretty good, fine, to just like, bro, I am like ecstatically married. Our sex life is through the roof. We feel amazing.
Yeah. Mm. Well, it's not so different from our first guy, it's just, like, the next level. It's the same game. It's just the next level, so it's just gonna take more deliberate action. It's just gonna take, like, "Hey, brother, like, you're better than you were." So, first of all, we can acknowledge that and celebrate that, but you've gotta compare it to you of yesterday, and you gotta make sure that you don't have the same marriage a year from now. You gotta make sure you don't have the same family culture a year from now. We've gotta make sure that we found a way to grow it. If it's by 10%, I love it, man. We don't have to double year after year after year. That gets harder and harder to do as high level guys know, like, man, it's tiny tweaks there at the end, and it's fine-tune adjustments, but there's always something to adjust because sailing is not just a simple task. Like, the wind changes, the outside elements change. Your wife changes. She changes all the time. She changes every month. Your kids are changing, their seasons are changing. So life is always casting its vote. Yeah, but for this brother, we're encouraging him towards a more deliberateness, and probably he's got to get more revelation now on the significance of headship. Our first bro, there was just some low hanging fruit. We didn't even have to emphasize a lot of headship with him. It was really just a lot of self leadership. And he was like, "This is crazy, man, like, boom, 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 boom," and everybody's blessed by his self-leadership. Forget wife leadership, forget kid leadership, they're automatically blessed. Michael going from 0.0 to 1.0, even if it's just self-leadership, Natalie's got a different guy. The boys have a different daddy, and
Yes.
I've leveled up things, even without focusing on, "I need to lead Natalie better," even without knowing how to, "I need to lead the boys better." Me leading me better blessed them automatically, and it made a difference. This second bro that we're talking about is probably we can start to get into, "Hey, let's lead her." You know, like,
Mm.
let's start to understand her. What does it look like to live with your wife in an understanding way? "Well, it means I always do what she wants, especially if she cries." "Hey, actually, brother, that's not the truth. And we wanna walk you through how to bless her and always do what's best for her according to what God says and what you believe." "Well, I could get it wrong." You sure could get it wrong, and yet, you'll answer to Jesus for that, and also still, you're responsible to lead and do what you believe is best.
Yes.
So, this is probably where he's gonna start to stop following her leadership. She is probably led in many ways accidentally, but she's probably led with her fears and anxieties, and he's like, "Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she just tells me what she wants, and I go knock it out, and it's a good thing, man, because she sees stuff I don't see." There's some true things in there that I like, but there's also she's still the de facto leader. "Hey,
Mm.
babe, tell me what you need, tell me what you need, tell me what you need." The next level is we want him to be out in front of her, and we want him to start to develop some vision. "Bro, where are y'all going?" "I don't know, whatever she says next she's afraid of and worried about." Brother, that's not a great leadership plan. That means her fears and anxieties are literally leading your household and your family. "Well, it's done pretty good for us so far." Well, compare it to what? I don't know what you're comparing to, but if we're coming back to the dominion mandate, I'm challenging you to see how are you subduing at the next level? How are you conquering life at the next level? How are you leveling up family culture at the next level? Tell me about your family vision. "Man, we love God. We're going to go to heaven. You know, I love my wife. Like, we're going to have great grandkids someday. It's going to be cool." I love all that. And also, you can elevate all of that. And so that's the challenge to our brothers. We're going to start to find, and it might, the same kinds of tools we referenced are still going to help him level up. "Hey, here's a captain's log. Hey, here's a captain's creed. Hey,
Mm.
here's family meetings." We're giving him opportunities for leadership there, especially family meetings.
Right.
But his eyes start to open to this headship thing's a thing.
Yeah.
And it's got to mean something. It can't mean nothing. And it doesn't just mean I get in trouble when things go bad. It also means I can take us somewhere good. But it's
Yes.
going to take some subduing. It's going to take some effort, some striving, and some challenge. But maybe our brother's gotten comfortable at 1.0 and he's kind of on autopilot. And again, we're going, "Hey, you think the scale goes to 10, my man? Good news, it goes to 100. You can keep growing."
So really, there's not a ceiling here, but he's created one for himself. He's just like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
comfort.
yeah, comfort. This is
It's
good as
comfortable,
long as
man.
we're comfortable."
That's the problem for the higher we go with the levels of guys that we're describing,
Yeah.
the biggest problem is not like, they're not gonna get blown up with an affair. They're not gonna get blown up with like, nothing's gonna blow them up the higher we go because they've got enough stability.
Yeah.
Their biggest killer, their biggest kryptonite is my kryptonite, it's comfort.
Yeah.
Comfort is my kryptonite. That's the
Yes.
thing that I have to be on guard against. And then, of course, yeah, like, a little bit of, folding of the hands, and then poverty leaps on you like a bandit. So it can
Right.
grow, and things can fall apart quickly. But yeah, comfort, like, "Yeah, I'm okay with a few weeds." And, he lets them go, and he gets to 'em and make but he's still like, "Brother, you're bumping into a ceiling, but there's no ceiling." Like,
Mm.
there's just a self-imposed limitation. For me, it's laziness that can lead me to that comfort, like, "Man, I'm just man, what do we always gotta be working? No, brother, only 6 days.
Yeah.
On the 7th day, we rest, remember?
Mhm. Right.
That was part of it as well. But otherwise, yeah, like, we're working, we're growing. That you were
Mm.
built for it. But whenever guys see that they can do it in their own garden, that's what shifts for me the excitement. The excitement becomes the fuel. When you're just building in somebody else's garden and you worked hard all day and your boss now has a lot more strawberries for it, you're like, "All right." Or the shareholders can get a 3rd beach house and you're like, "All right." Or they can buy another yacht and you're like, "All right." Like, go do your work, provide value. There's a value trade. Like, that's
Mhm.
fine. It's not evil, it's not wrong. But we keep telling guys, like, family leadership, it's the thing, bro. It's
Yeah.
the garden where the harder you work, more strawberries are in your house. So whenever guys start to get online with this stuff, man, they get fired up and like, "Dude, I'm harvesting." I'm like, "I know, dude." And they're like, "Could there be more?" But they get satisfied and they're like, "Well, this is enough harvest for me." Brother, you're still thinking very selfishly.
Yeah.
You're only thinking about you. What about building a grand and ridiculous vision? That's
Mm.
what happened with me.
Yes.
Man, me and Natalie got to where I wanted, ecstatically married. Everything's what I wanted. This headship thing, this submission thing, this sex life thing, this family culture thing, this vision. The Clarks are dialed in, praise God, and they all lived happily ever after. And the Lord's going, "Well, that's nice for you. And what about your brothers?" And I'm going, "Man, oh yeah, I guess I wasn't the only one. I thought I was. I felt like I was the only guy in the world who didn't get it."
Hmm.
And then that led to something. Not saying everybody's gotta start a ministry or start a business out of it,
Sure.
but bro, you ought to have something that you're outsourcing, and then your vision must expand.
Yeah.
And this is what I think most guys have an identity blockage, and they think, "I'm just a this kinda guy. I'm just a that kinda guy." And they don't see themselves at those higher levels, which, as you know, Chris, when guys come in the family captain, a lot of times, depending on who he is and where he is, like, we don't always show him the full picture,
Right.
and we don't see it either, but we know what he's capable of. I mean, I'm thinking of a brother right now in the voyage who, you know, again, when he came in, typical story, "Yeah, I wanna grow," like, "Yeah, I'd love to grow," same kinda stuff. Happily married, loved his wife, loved his kids. I'd like to I'd like to lead better. I'd like for her to just be, like, deferring to me, just like, "You're the greatest guy ever," and I would just love for that dynamic to be easy, and I'd love for the sex to just be a wonderful, joyful, holy party between the 2 of us and all that good stuff. Well, all that happened, and then but he didn't just say, like, "Alright, guys, I'm outta here." He came on and kept going and kept growing, and now he's looking at, like, massive expansion in business
Wow.
and connecting that to ministry opportunities and how he's gonna do that for the kingdom of God, and, like,
Oh,
this guy, he worked on this plantation for these people doing, a very, very specific skill set, and he has shifted from, like, "Yep, my father worked on a plantation, and so, all this family members, like, that's what our family does. We work on plantations." And in the voyage, because of the brotherhood around him, his vision has shifted to, "I want to own a plantation."
let's go.
That's crazy.
That's
You're not a
sick.
plantation owner guy, dude. Like, we're not a plantation owner family.
Mm.
But because of a powerful captain's creed and because of powerful brotherhood, his whole life has shifted, and now he has a network around him who's also like, "Here's the next step. Here's the next step."
Yeah.
And my bro is literally on a trajectory to own his own plantation and do his own thing and expand and grow because he's been faithful, because he's been fruitful, and
Mm.
he's gonna be able to accomplish more. He has been righteous. He has something worth outsourcing, both in his household, both in his business. It it's growth. It's you subdue here and the Lord adds to it. You subdue here and the Lord adds to it. And that's just a very practical example of where we've seen that happen in somebody's life.
Yeah, dude. Yes, and what you said there was so interesting. You said that as a result of the brotherhood that was around him and the captain's creed that he built. So it's like the vision and then the brotherhood to help him, like, just stand alongside him and encourage him towards it. Hey, man. Hey, I know you put this in your creed. I know this is what you want, right?
Bro, it was around a fire pit. I
Yeah.
remember it. I think we were in Denver. So, like, twice a year we do live events just for the clients. And we'll rent like this, some super dope mansion or something. We'll get like 20 of us on air mattresses and beds and whatever. But it's, late night fire pits and, we're having a great time and smoking cigars and attacking each other's theology and calling each other heretics. And then, of course, by the end of the night, everybody acknowledges, "Jermichael, you're actually right about everything, and we're sorry." And I
Usually,
go,
right?
"Hey, God will forgive you." So, but it was around the fire pit where this brother's like, "Man, like, he just barely voiced it. He's like, "I'd really love to own a plantation one day." And 2 bros, 2 real estate bros latched onto him right then and like, "What's stopping you?" He's like, "Well, just millions of dollars." And they're like, "Oh, well, if you got a money problem, then you don't have a problem." And
Mhm.
he's like, What? Like, what? What? What universe are these guys coming from?" Like, they're in a different level. They're like 10 steps ahead of him. They're like 10 steps ahead of me, 20 steps ahead of me in their thinking in this area. But they challenge him. They're like, "You want that?" And he's like, "Yeah." They're like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay, do what we tell you to do." And they've been walking forward and coaching and counseling. He's like,
Awesome.
obeying, obeying, obeying. And he's, next thing you know, bro's gonna own a plantation and he's gonna host our events and we're all gonna be there and we're
That's
gonna be around the
awesome,
fire
man.
pit and I'm gonna be like, "Look what the Lord has done, brother. Look what
Yes.
God did. Here we are
Amen.
all around the fire pit and now we're here and this is your plantation, dude. And now your sons are gonna own this and y'all might own other plantations." Are we just expanding, our stuff, John Michael? Let's talk to the cynic here for a second, Chris, or the one who's like, "Hang on, we don't need all this stuff." Brother, faithfulness and fruitfulness is inevitable in every area of life when you do things
Mm.
God's way for his reasons. Like in the Old Testament, whenever someone was really rich, there was a word for it. It was literally called blessing. And God blessed so and so, and then right after that, you're gonna get some description of extreme wealth. Cattle, sheep, land, servants, whatever. Like, and God bless so and so, and then the blessing is like always monetary. Oh, be careful with that prosperity gospel. Hey, bro, don't put your weird label on me. Stick with the exact context of what I'm talking about because I'm not talking about what you're talking about. I'm talking about what I'm talking about. I'm
Mm.
saying what I'm saying, and I'm not saying what I'm not saying. So, faithfulness and fruitfulness is always going to yield fruit in any area of life. And that is a good kingdom principle. It works as it should.
Yes, and, I mean, Jesus literally laid it out. He said, "Seek first the kingdom, and all else will be added." And it's so interesting because as we talk about our domain, so our family is part of the kingdom because it's eternal. It's eternal and it matters. And then what's interesting about many of these stories that you're sharing of the brothers and the family captain is it's like they put their focus there. It's like, okay, Lord, I'm seeking first the kingdom of God. I'm seeking first the church. I'm seeking first, like just really raising up our kids, right? Like
Yes.
in the
I
Lord.
want what you want for the reasons you want it.
Yes. And
But then it's
then
inevitable when
and
we gain
then
mastery in an area to expand into others.
right. And then all else is added later on. It's like, cool, man.
Amen.
You've crushed this. Now let me show you what I can do. Not that the Lord is like, go build this amazing kingdom on earth that, because we all know it's just gonna rust. It's gonna rust away, right? But seek first the kingdom and all else will be added. I think there's tons of evidence of that in the guys in the family captain.
Amen.
Yeah.
The family captain is all about helping Christian husbands to build an incredible marriage and family culture. It's self-leadership, it's family leadership, it's sex and marriage, all made practical so husbands, wives, and children can enjoy God's best and truly thrive. It's one thing to believe that Christians should have the best marriages and sex lives. It's another thing to know how to make it all happen. But inside our Family Captain Elite coaching program, that's exactly what you're going to learn. In the Family Captain Elite, men are not only equipped with the conviction to act, but also with the wisdom to navigate their exact situations. And they get a clear, practical path to get them the incredible fruit that they're after. So, if you want to take your marriage and family culture from just fine to incredible, then go to thefamilycaptain.com and book a free assessment call to see if the Family Captain Elite program really is a good fit for you. That's thefamilycaptain.com. Family leadership is a high calling for your life. So what are you waiting for?
Well, you fell into my trap in guy number 3 here, really, which is the frustrated guy who's like, okay, I'm following all the things in the podcast and I'm trying really hard and he's seeing some fruit, right? But he's alone.
Ugh.
He's got no feedback. He doesn't have
Right.
coaches to
Well,
affirm
you
these
already
things.
answered, man. You already took my answer then. I was like, what does he need? He needs feedback
Okay, yeah.
because you don't know what you don't know. He's like, I'm doing all the things and nothing's working. Like, you need some feedback. You need
Mm.
somebody who can look at it and go, hey, are you this? Oh, massive tweak, massive adjustment. I think I told that story last week even, or recently.
What was
A
that?
bro who's like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. I'm like, tell me more.
Mhm.
And I make this adjustment. He's like, whoa, I was being way too intense with my kids. You
Mhm.
know, "Jermichael, I heard you teach," or "I heard one of the coaches teach calm, consistent consequences." And I thought that looked like this. And we're like, "Bro, that is so weird, dude. Chill out." And we're, like, laughing at him in, like, a fun way, and he's like, "Massive adjustment, though. Massive adjustment." And then, like, fruit starts showing up.
Yes.
He's in the program. Like, he's working with it, but he had a feedback loop like all of our clients do. So they're like, "Hey, here's what it looked like." And we're like, "First of all, I love that you got in the batter's box and swung the bat. Second of all, that's a huge strike." Good news, still only counts as 1 strike. And, good news is you get unlimited strikes, you're never out, and you're gonna come back and crush it. But yeah, that feedback loop is super important. So the frustrated bro, yeah, you gotta have that mentor. What if our brother at the fire pit didn't say, "I really wanna own that," and he's just going through life like, "I could never own it," and he's trying on his own because he doesn't know what he doesn't know. He
Right.
doesn't know he's got 2 real estate bros who have done lots of crazy stuff in real estate, but he doesn't get feedback, and he's just like, "I'm just a guy. I'm not one of those people who can never do crazy stuff with big money or big properties or anything like that or big deals, like, 'cause I'm not that guy." Well, maybe not yet, but you know some who are,
Yeah, man.
and and that feedback made all the difference for him. So the frustrated
Mm.
bro, he needs encouragement, but not just encouragement to keep going. Sometimes he does, because that's the other thing, that feedback can be. Sometimes like, "Bro, you're doing the right thing. You just
Yeah.
haven't been doing it long enough."
Yeah.
That's it.
You
You're
know,
doing the right things, bro. You just gotta keep doing it.
what's so interesting about this is like it's like a sick joke. There's some people who are like more than willing to jump into a coaching program because they're trying to pay for the solution, but they're not going to do the work, right? And then there's some guys that are literally like, I will not join anything. I will do everything on my own, but man, would they thrive if they had the
Oh,
structure.
yes.
You know what I
Yeah, yeah,
mean?
the first guy who's like, "I hope
Yeah.
that money magically fixes something if I
Right.
invest into a program," like, "No, bro, you'll fix it.
Exactly. So
The
he's
money is
not
what
willing to
the
do the
value trade
work.
is for us."
Right.
Yeah.
This
He
guy's
can't
not
make
willing
it.
to do the work, but then the other guy who will do all the things on his own, he'll fly if he has the right structure and the right how-tos.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, well, that's why we've called it the fast track. Can you do it on your own? Yeah, I did it. You can do it.
Yeah,
I'm sure
100%.
plenty of others have done it,
Yeah.
but it just depends on how fast you wanna go. So, like, and the quicker you get feedback, the better. My feedback loop, Chris, was a million books, a million podcasts, a million resources.
Yeah.
But you gotta consume a lot, and you've gotta be an action taker. I've never just been a listener to and a reader who just reads to be like, "Another book bites the dust." Never. I'm
Right.
always, like, on the hunt. I'm pausing the book because 'cause I'm listening to most of them,
Mhm.
and I'm making actionable things. And also, it was always important to me, so this is a tip for the DIY guy, um, always make sure that you prioritize systematic things for your life over one-off things, because the one-off thing's gone, dude.
Explain that.
It might've huh?
Give me an example.
What's an example? Like, whatever, if you're reading a book and he's like, "Hey, so you should do this," and you do it one time, you write a note to your wife or something, you're like, "That was a great idea," and it really blessed her, like, that was good, and I'm glad you did it, but also, what would have been better is to have put some sort of new systematic thing in place where once a month, your phone pings you and is like, "Hey, stop what you're doing here at work and shoot your wife an email. Hey, cutie, miss you, thinking about you today." And whatever, whatever, your language, your marriage, your flirtation.
Yep.
Can't wait to smack that booty and dance with you in the kitchen tonight, like, whatever. But now you've got a systematic thing that's helping you. So always aim towards systematic stuff because that's going to compound. It will normalize over
Yes.
time, so it's not so much hard work. Whereas the one-off stuff, like, it's kinda one and done. She's like,
Right.
"That was nice," but then you lost steam. So the more I can build systematic with anything in my life, the better. Household systems, marriage systems, fatherhood systems, the more I can make systematic stuff, the better. That's gonna serve you and protect you and help you.
Yeah.
I
100%.
just wanna take my discipline out of it as much as possible.
Right.
Like, I wanna make as much automated. I wanna remove all the frictions so that Michael's laziness and passivity is just constantly, like, structures that I have self-imposed. So I had enough discipline to put the system into place that now helps me. It either gets in my way to stop me from doing the dumb thing, whatever,
Yeah.
like the screen cuts off after, 5 minutes in Facebook,
Mhm.
or, it pushes me and encourages me towards the good thing, like the, uh, the quality time thing that
Yes.
we give our clients for their kids. That's a systematic
Yes.
solution. Instead of like, "Spend quality time with your kid this week," and they're like, "I'll do it." But now they have an actual tool that is repeatable, that is sustainable, and that
Kid
their kid
reminds you.
stays on top of,
Your
and it's
kid will
like,
stay on top of it for sure.
it's done. It's as good as done, and it's gonna live
Yeah.
forever, and it's a massive, crazy level up, and it's like,
Yes.
that's a simple little system. So, that's what guys need to aim for. If they're like, "Nice try, Chris. I'm still not booking a call, and I'm still not going to the Family Captain Elite." Alright, brothers. We won't tell Chris, but you're my secret. Focus on systems, and, you can do it on your own. It's the slower path. It's not the one I recommend, but it's a path.
Right. Right. It's true. It's true. And for the guys who are like, "Well, why doesn't he just put all the steps that he learned together?"
I did. That's a
You
great
did.
idea. That's a great idea. I did. Well,
You
he should
did, and
share
then you
them.
recruited a bunch of guys who could also help you do it just as well. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah. We got a team of coaches because that feedback loop matters. The first thing I ever
Yes.
put out, Chris, was exclusively an action-based email course. That's all it was. It was
Captain's
all
course,
the
you said,
actions.
right?
The captain's course.
Okay. Yeah.
6-month email course, and it was just the action of the week. Boom, 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 boom. Nobody finished it. Nobody stayed with it.
Mm.
They needed
Was
feedback. They needed
was it
coaching. They
free?
needed brotherhood. No, it wasn't free.
Okay. Interesting. Nope. Nobody finished it. They needed the feedback, you said.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember how much did it cost? It was like 5 or $600.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. But yeah, there's this like, well, that worked for him, but it won't work for me because I've been guilty of it too, man. I've poured thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into business coaching stuff. And
Yeah.
I've tried to outsmart my coach, right? And anytime I tried to outsmart my coach, it didn't work.
Mhm.
It didn't
Bro,
work.
have you heard Christian tell his story of, like, when he just stopped doing all the captain's actions? Or he
Uh,
dropped the 6 sales?
no. Uh-uh.
This was funny. Christian is, one of our team members. He's one of our coaches. Christian is, like, I think yeah, Christian's the very first team member
Yeah.
who came on board in the family captain, the very first one. But he told me something, like, months and months after it happened. He said, "Hey, man, I stopped doing the 6 sales." He said, "I did a stupid experiment." I was like, "Okay, what was it?" He said, "I dropped all the 6 sales just to see what would happen, because 'Cause he'd been living this way for, like, a year now, and he's, like,
Yeah.
got rhythms and growth and flourishing." He was like, "I did it for, like, 2 weeks, and my life fell apart." I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
"What were you doing?" He's like, "I wanted to see if it was really working." I was like, "Thanks for the confidence." Thanks for the faith.
It's
He's like,
hilarious.
"No, good news, it was working." I'm like, duh." I mean, it was so funny to me. I mean, I felt like a bro came to me like, "Hey, I tried staying awake for 2 weeks to see if I would feel tired, and turns out I felt tired." I'm like, "Wow. I'm glad you I'm glad you performed your scientific experiment to
Right.
bring confirmation for yourself."
There
Which is
you
not
go.
that's not news to me, but it sounds like it is to you. So, some bros just gotta put their hand on the stove, I
Just to
guess.
know it's hot. Yeah.
Christian's like, "Okay, that's hot, good to know."
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. The last guy is our high level dude. This guy, look, man, I'm already beating the alarm clock. I'm disciplined. I'm strong. I'm working out in the gym. But he he doesn't see the deeper generational impact that having coaches and systems and higher level dudes around him that just give him the next screw he needs to turn, man. how that really changes his life
So his
and
marriage is
the
good. He's
generations. Yeah,
like he's like
I
what I
love
was
it.
describing earlier almost then. We're good, and we're all gonna live happily ever after. It's gonna be dope.
Like, he is doing well in the majority of the pillars, you know,
Yeah,
when it comes to just like, okay, great. Like, hey, I love Jesus. I'm taking care of my family. I'm providing. I'm protecting. I'm
yeah.
leading, etc.
Bro's a stud. Bro's like top 1%
Absolutely.
already.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. And
yeah.
so,
So
really, how does this guy discover the flaws he didn't even know he had?
how does he discover him? I don't know.
All right, that wraps that question up.
Great question. I mean, he's gonna feel pricked when he hears what we described earlier,
Sure.
the vision piece. "Hey, bro, I'm glad that you're good, but what about what's next? What about expansion? What about not just getting along? Like, well, we got enough money for us.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, so why would we need to make any more?" Wow, that was a really selfish question you just asked, actually. It's called, ridiculous generosity.
Mm.
We have everything we need. What would I do with $1,000,000? I don't need $1,000,000. Okay, then give it away because lots of people in the world could use it. Your church, most likely, friends and family around you. Like, dude, how cool would it be to have a family fund where you give scholarships to
Yes.
people? This is something that I put in writing at the beginning of 2026, and I share with Natalie, and she's fired up. Uh, I would have never have imagined this 10 years ago, but I grew here one stage at a time. So bro's at different stages. Again, it's hard for you to picture 4 stages ahead, but this is why I tell the bro, like, if you really think you're level 10, then you should already know it goes to 100. You ought to know that. Nobody should have to tell you. And if you didn't know that, that tells me you were actually not level 10. Because the closer you get to level 100, you're like, oh, like it opens.
Mm.
What you thought was a ceiling and it opens, and you're like, what? Nah, I'm good here. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's for crazy people. No, it's just for faithful people, man.
Yeah.
It's a way to keep growing. But that's one of the things I wrote down for our future vision
Yeah.
is a family fund where we give money away and not just randomly, not just to people in the grocery store. Like that
Mm.
Christians who can do that should be doing that already. We should have been doing that for a long time ago. Even if you can't do that, we should always be looking out for folks. But I'm talking like a fund, a Clark family fund, some sort of
Really?
nonprofit where we're doing loans and micro loans and businesses and almost like a Clark family Shark Tank where we're not sharks about it and we're
Right.
not trying to take any part of what they're doing. We're just trying to fund them and be like, yes. Like, because you know how much I love that and I love helping bros start a thing. But whenever they run it like, "Oh, man, if I had 5 grand to just blah, 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 blah," like, bros are gonna be able to present their business ideas and all the plans, like, there'll be a process, and boom, they get the funding
Yeah.
and go crush it. And then they repay that micro loan or whatever, 100,000 or whatever. But,
Yeah.
uh, like, that's just something that I'm excited about, that our family is gonna be a part of because, yeah, like, you don't just need to upgrade your lifestyle infinitely, like, we made more money. Now what? I guess a bigger house to eat up this new money, I suppose. Like, no, 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 that's just consumerism. That's just chasing. I mean, that's mammon.
That's the wrong
And then
kingdom.
that, yeah, that's you're building. You're focused on the wrong kingdom.
Yeah.
But man, I want every single bro listening to be able to take his wife to an amazing, ridiculous restaurant.
Mm.
A restaurant that he would feel right now like, I mean, we don't need to eat there. Like, I didn't say you needed to eat there, brother. But wouldn't it be a joy? You, the provider in you, let me speak to the provider in you. Wouldn't you love to take that girl there and spoil her? Not truly spoil her, but bless her with something ridiculous. And she's like, oh my goodness, this place is like, I know, you deserve it. I love you, beautiful. I want the guy to be able to do that. I want him to be able to take her to an incredible hotel. Not endless consumerism, but for the same reason we give her a diamond ring. Why? Because we wanna communicate value, and monetary things have a way of communicating value. Duh. So we do that often with a diamond ring, and then after that, we're like, "Ugh, I don't need to do Valentine's Day, it's just a consumer holiday." Sure, okay, thank you, Casanova. I'm sure that it is just a consumer holiday, and also, be sweet to your wife, bro. Be sweet to your wife. "Well, I don't want the man to get the best of me." Alright, well, stick it to the man and have a great marriage. But, you know, you spending a little bit of money on Valentine's Day, I don't think it's gonna hurt anything.
Mm.
So get over it. Quit being such a tool, man. If you married a dude, you'd be fine, but none of our listeners married a dude. I don't know
True.
where we're going anymore.
That's okay. You started talking about, the consumerism side because we're talking about the high level dude.
Oh, yeah, I started speaking to,
Yeah.
like, an objection I heard in my head of, like,
Right.
"Why do we need to expand?" To bless others, that was the point.
Right.
Expansion is more blessing.
Right.
Abraham's house was big, and he provided for a ton of people. He fed a lot of people. He housed a lot of people, and he was able to care for a lot of people that if Abraham hadn't have been their Lord, someone else would have been, and that someone else wouldn't have been as gracious and as good as
Right.
Abraham, and they wouldn't have been in the culture of the kingdom in Abraham's house.
Right.
So, like, again, the high level bro, this is what he should be doing. He owns his own business. He's successful in business. Bro, that culture should be awesome. Yeah, I've kinda just been using my business as, like, just a paycheck for me, and, yeah, it's jobs for folks. Bro, that is a culture that you need to start discipling. If you've been unfaithful there, start being faithful. Get involved in your employees' businesses. If all men work for you, bro, what a jackpot you have to disciple
Mm.
guys and care for guys' souls. And plenty of guys are doing this.
Yeah.
But this is what it looks like. It's not just for you. "Oh, my business is doing great. We're doing great. We're doing this. We're doing this." Okay. Welcome to that new level of leadership.
Right.
There's another level. There's always another level. There's another level in your marriage. There's new places to go in depth of knowing your wife and caring for your wife and blessing your wife. There's new ways to level up your family vision so that your kids actually have something expansive to think about. And they don't start back at 0 like we all did. Every family, dude, starting at 0, Chris, with legacy. Every
Yes.
family starting at 0 with vision. Every family starting at 0 with finances. Starting over. Yep. Yep, they're gonna make it. We'll leave them an inheritance when we die. When they least need the money, when we're 80 and they're 55, we'll leave them money because
Mm.
that's what they need at 55, right? When did you need money in your marriage, Chris?
Right. Probably year
It
1.
On your wedding day. Bro, we had to open our wedding gifts to be able to afford to pay for the facility where we already had our wedding.
Mm. Just
I had to
hoping
go
hoping you weren't getting IOUs and just
hoping that
cards
it
with,
wasn't all just,
smiley
like,
faces.
here's a salt and pepper shaker, and here's a this, and here's a that, and, like, that was stuff we needed, but, like, we had to open those envelopes,
Yeah.
and then I could go to the church and pay for, like, the facilities fee and the different things, but, like, that's what we nee that's when we needed money,
Yeah.
like, instead of, like, this well, what are we doing? We're trying to expand it. We're trying to move the ball downfield in every imaginable way, so that our sons know what marriage should look like. Our daughters know what marriage should look like. And it is so deeply in them that we know good and well it's going to make it into our grandkids.
Mm.
And they all love and follow Jesus. And they all know that our family's got a bigger vision and that our vision is expanding. And they know that they're going to stand on my shoulders and I'm going to promote them and they're going to go farther and faster than I ever had. I tell my sons that you're all going to be greater men than me.
Mm.
And that's like, wow to them because they're like, Daddy's the greatest man we know. I'm like, you're going to be greater. You need to be better than me. You
Yeah.
need to love the Lord more. You need to be better husbands. You need to be better fathers. And they're like, I don't crush them with it, but I just encourage them. I want them to know,
Yeah.
like, sons, like, we're going to build something together. We're going to build the kingdom. We're going to be faithful in the church. If the Lord calls you to ministry, I would love for you to be working in the family captain with me if that's what you want to do. And I've got to keep planting vision in them and think about expansion, not just, well, we're cool. We're good. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be. My brother, listen, you're supposed to be, bro. That's supposed to be normal. And bros who aren't there yet, like, that would be nice if we were just okay. But good news, man, one step at a time, the Lord will get you there. But then he wants to take you past it into massive expansion. You were faithful with these talents. Now you're upgraded to 10 cities. You're faithful with
Mm.
10 cities. Now you're upgraded to whatever comes next.
Mm.
So that's the message to that bro who's like, yeah, man, we're good. How, how you doing, man? I'm ridiculously blessed. Awesome. What's the next season look like? You better have an answer for me.
Right.
What's the next chapter? What's the next decade? Oh, more of the same. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. Not more of the same. That's drifting. That sounds like a captain adrift.
Yeah.
More of the same. Come on, man. Well, tell me about the expansion. Tell me about the vision. Man, I don't have one. Okay. Well, the Lord does. The Lord's got new faithfulness for you. He's got more responsibility for you, man. You got to be a new man a decade from now. And if you're not, I think that's called unfaithfulness. I think that's burying a talent. Lord, thank you for this awesome life. I'm going to bury it in the ground. And 10 years from now, I'll be able to show you the same awesome life. That's
Mm,
not right.
yeah.
10
You know
years? It's gotta look way different.
right. To your point on the high level, man, I don't know if I mentioned this before on this podcast, but I interviewed a guy who was bringing home $500,000 a month with a team of, like, 4 people, right? And he was bringing home 500K, and he was just like, "Yeah, I'm just bored." He was just super bored, and I was like, "Okay, so, what's the plan?" He goes, "I think I have to hit 1,000,000." And I was just like, "What?" And he got to 1,000,000, by the way, like, 3, 4 months later. It was unreal. And I reached out to him, I was like, "Hey, man, congrats." But I sent him Ecclesiastes. I was like, "Dude, like, check this out. Read this." Because I'm telling you, man, like, what's so interesting about the high level dude is it's like, "Okay, I'm gonna sacrifice my comfort to go get the thing." And then once they get the thing and they're not satisfied, they're like, "Oh, I just needed a bigger thing." And I think
Right.
what the Lord says to that high level man all the time is he's like, "Seek first the kingdom, and all else will be added. And then I will bring purpose to your work. And then I will bring
Satisfaction,
purpose to everything." Exactly.
peace.
Exactly. Peace, satisfaction, all the things. And so yeah, I just wanted to highlight that because I think there are a lot of high level men who like if the scorecard is money or skills or mastery,
Or
well
even
done.
marriage. There's guys
Yeah.
who may be able to say like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I went from whatever, we were twice a week in frequency and kinda
Yeah.
not a lot of passion there to daily and high passion, and now I'm on autopilot because I built this." And like, first of all, congrats on the growth, and also after growth comes growth. Like,
Yes.
there's another way to grow, there's another way to thrive, and it's typically gonna involve vision instead of
Right.
just, "How do we keep adding to what we currently have?"
Yes.
I guess I need to buy a yacht now because I made $1,000,000,000 this year. I guess I need a super yacht. I guess we need a private island. Like,
Right.
no, no. If you can do the basics and if you can thrive and you can take your wife out and she can go to the store and buy something without thinking that this is gonna ruin our finances and our economy in the household for the next 6 years, like, that's nice. That's a nice place to get to. But bro, the vision is responsibility for more. Who else are you gonna take responsibility of?
Yeah.
Who else are you gonna bless for kingdom purposes?
Yes.
Like, get your eyes off of yourself. I
Right.
started there. I want what I want. Why? For
Right.
me. I wanna be happier. I wanna thrive more. And the Lord's like, "Yep, that's not wrong. That's not a wrong thing to want." But as you grow from being a baby, you're only focused on yourself, to a child, hey, you need to participate in this household, to a man, you take ownership of it. And that's what the high level brother should be doing. He should be taking ownership
Yes.
of his entire clan. And that's where high level bro is going like, my parents and in-laws, none of them will ever go into a nursing home over my dead body. And I'm gonna make sure that they're cared for, and I'm gonna make sure that my siblings and your siblings and our family, like, they feel like the patriarch. No one's authorized them, no one has recognized them as that. They don't act like a hero at family gatherings, but internally they feel that. And they feel like, "Lord, help me. Lord, help me to provide for these people. Help me protect these people." Lord, he's thinking about his brother-in-law. He's like, "Dude's losing his job in 2 years." He doesn't know it yet because AI has taken his job.
Right.
If my man is not focused, let me help coach him, let me help guide him, let me start to drop some hints. Alright, what are we gonna do when he inevitably does nothing? Like, he's processing he's thinking about others instead of like, "Well, my life's great." Like, cool.
That's good.
I'm glad. I
Yeah.
genuinely am. What an awesome platform of stability you have to be such a leader at a higher level now. Like, I'm glad that you have, by God's grace, built a system and a life you don't need an escape from. I'm glad by God's grace and your hard work that you have built a life that you're enjoying. And also, welcome to the next level. It's inevitable that you would actually be a great leader. That's what's supposed to happen now of others. You started with the household, which is Family Captain 101, baby. This is the dope garden focus here. But then your household should expand. Your tent and your pegs and your ropes should go out farther and farther, and more people can come into your vision because it's so big.
All 4 of these guys, I feel like there's this really important legacy piece. The unaware man is not realizing what an incredible family culture he can build. The pretty good, like, life is pretty good guy doesn't realize that he's putting limitations on what his kids are gonna become because they're like, "Yeah, dad just kinda, like, lived that and everything was fine, everything was pretty good, and mom and dad were okay." right? Um, the guy who is just like the super frustrated, like moving a million miles per hour doer, he's just in his own strength. He's not relying on community in
Mm.
any way, and he's showing that to his kids as well. It's like, "We don't need nobody, we'll just do it on our own." And then this high level dude is missing the vision that could really be fulfilled through using the gifts God's given him. And so with all of these guys, like, wrap them all up, JM, when it comes to dominion for these brothers. Um, what's the what's the overarching theme that all of these guys need to put their eye on?
Faithfulness says, "I'm gonna keep going because it'll bring more glory to God."
Mhm.
It's the heart difference between, like you were saying, mammon and building their own kingdom, which is like, "I need more. I need 1,000,000." Why? For me to fill some misguided thing I put in my own head, my own heart. I think I've made that joke before. I've told you guys how, when Natalie and I was like, "Hey, I ordered this thing off Amazon, like, it'll be here
Yeah,
Wednesday." I'm like, "And then I will be
and I'll be
happy."
happy.
We say it jokingly, ironically, but I say it to stab myself because I kinda actually feel it. I'm like, "Oh, I can't wait for the thing."
Yeah.
So I do it in a way to make fun of me and be like,
Mm.
"Bro, it's a plastic thing from Amazon, get over it." Um, but faithfulness keeps going because it'll bring more glory to God and it will bless others
Yes.
compared to, the wrong view of building my own kingdom. Now I will say that but you get to build your own kingdom under God's kingdom is always the default assumption. But the guy who's just building just to build, and he's like, I thought when it was 100 feet tall, I'd be happy. I guess I need to make it 200 feet tall." Like, no, bro. You need to do something that's gonna glorify the Lord. Like, "Well, I got everything I need." Yeah, I know. So, like, why have you not shifted into some kinda crazy generosity project or sought the Lord on some new passion and new gear? Clearly, you've mastered this business. Do you have to run it every day? Hire a CEO and go into a new chapter. Clearly, you're a money magnet, bro.
Mhm.
Like, looks like there's maybe even a calling on your life for that. What are you gonna fund next for the kingdom? How many orphanages are you gonna go build? How many hospitals can you go build? Like, get excited about your purpose, and some guys, they do. They get in and they're like,
Mhm.
"That is what I'm good at. That is how I serve the church." That like and there's plenty of Christian business bros who are
Sure.
like that. We keep going to the money example. But that's the point. Faithfulness will always just find its next way to grow. Not because it's got this angsty, hole in the heart, but actually because Jesus is like, he's the power source in the heart. Like, he's actually in there. It's not a hole, and they're like, I gotta do more. I wanna do
Right.
more for the Lord." Like, I see how I can bless my aunt now. Like,
Mm.
before I was like, "I just hope I can take my wife on a date," and now I can bless this person, and now
Mm.
pastor just said, like, the church got hit by lightning, and they needed this for that, and, like, I just got to write the check.
Yeah.
Praise God, and now I get to this and that and the other, like, whatever the examples are, but there's always another degree of faithfulness. He knows he needs to be making disciples. He knows he needs to be fruitful for the kingdom, but wherever he is, faithfulness, whether you're just getting started, faithfulness always travels with you, or whether you think, "I'm at the top of the game," faithfulness is still expected from you. But make sure that your priorities are like Chris has been saying, kingdom first. That's the
The
point.
first.
Lord, what would bring you glory? What would bring you honor? What would please you? Even when I can't take my wife on a date. And I wanna be clear, I'm not in any way trying to insinuate that generosity begins once you've achieved something, because the
No.
opposite is true. If you're not
True.
generous at the beginning, you will never be generous later.
So
Christians
true.
are generous, period.
Yes.
That's what Christians are, that's what Christians do, because we have a shepherd who's keeping the books, and we don't have to, manage our resources with greed
Mm.
or, self-preservation, because we don't preserve ourselves. But there does come a level where, I've met Christian businessmen who they're like, "Yeah, like, that's my calling, that's my excitement, that's my passion," but they're doing it for Jesus.
Yes.
And, yeah, I don't think we should muzzle the ox while he's treading out the grain. I hope he can take his wife anywhere in the world and go do whatever they want. Good, enjoy it, brother. You've
Mm.
worked hard for it, you've earned it. But
Mm.
every man, wherever he's at, what am I supposed to do next? Faithfulness, and faithfulness looks like growth, and then, of course, harvest is coming, but there's work involved. Subduing is messy work, thorns are gonna cut you, weeds are gonna keep growing, and you're like, "When does it end?" Hey, man, it doesn't end. When do I rest? You're supposed to be resting the 7th day. Every every week, you're supposed to be resting, and Jesus is your Sabbath on top of that, so we're not supposed to do things apart from him. So I want those guys to be encouraged no matter what level they're at.
Yes.
Brother, the Lord sees you, and you really can experience growth at the next level, whether you think you're just getting started or whether you think, you know, "I should have taught this episode." please go start a podcast then. But somehow, some way, you've got to
It
expand
will.
the fruit that you have. Like, the world needs it.
Yes. Amen to that, my dude. Hey, for guys who are like, yeah, man, I fit into that one. And he's like, okay, I just need a little more clarity and direction on whether I'm supposed to do this on my own or I'm supposed to do it with you guys. What's the next step for that brother?
Book an assessment call. You'll talk to the team, and they'll either get you some more free content, or they'll recommend, hey, the elite program is worth a shot, or worth you looking into. So that's all it is. Get on with the team. They'll help you think through next steps, and then you can tell them, cool, makes sense. I want to move forward potentially with the elite coaching program, get that brotherhood, get that feedback loop, coaches who can see blind spots, that kind of thing. The curriculum that goes along with it, those 6 sales that we talked about, what are the fundamental pieces that a captain puts into place in his life? And yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be his next point. Click the link, book a call.
Sounds good, man. So I know we spent a fair amount of time on the high level, bro. What I was thinking, even at the end here, is I'm just like, man, I think what's so incredible is that God does more than we ever ask or imagine, right? Immeasurably more. There have been so many bros who've come to the family captain who are just like, yeah, I'm not really sure who this is going to influence outside of my family, but they were involved in the church and they started, discipling guys in the church and they had this new vision for leading in the church and becoming elders and all the things. And so do not
Absolutely.
limit what God can do through a brotherhood.
Yeah, great point. We did emphasize a lot on, like, we kinda went in the business angle a bunch and referenced
Yeah,
finances. And some guys who are like, "That's not me," which, spoken like you at the level you're at right now, FYI. So, you don't have to have anything against money. I don't, brother. I'm just not there yet. That's no problem. But yeah, there are many fruitful areas like the church, and like your living room, and other families and couples who are coming in. And, again, you got to start outsourcing whatever it is that you have. And you have much to offer and much to give through discipleship, through skills, through whatever it looks like. You've got a lot to give. And that's the point. Our marriages are supposed to be representing Christ in the church, to the body of Christ, to the world, to our kids, to everybody. So you've got much to export as you develop fruit.
that's right, man. Awesome stuff today, dude. Till next time.
Go captain your ship. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Family Captain Podcast. Now go take some action and serve by leading well. Also subscribe, leave a review so more men can find the podcast and be helped. And if you're ready to take your growth to the next level and you'd like more support, check out thefamilycaptain.com for our resources that'll help you accelerate your journey. And until next time, go captain your ship.